In the Pits is partnered with YI Paintball. Paintball, there's nothing like it. On the field or off, it's not just a sport, it's a community. The people, our people, come from all over, with vastly different lives during the week. But come time for paintball, we're one community, with a lot of stories about why. Follow YI Paintball on Instagram and meet the members of the paintball community. Learn about how they started, what their journey has been, and their ultimate why. Why paintball? What's your why? In the Pits is partnered with Pod Runners Union. Follow Pod Runners Union on Instagram to find strength in union and celebrate our sports pit crew. Send in photos to represent your union local and be featured. Stealing pods for undeserving teams. It's a living. In the Pits is partnered with Mariachi Águilas de Oro. Based in Austin and servicing the surrounding areas, these Golden Eagles will bring life to any event you are having, from birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, corporate events, or even a simple performance to enjoy. Guillermo Padilla, one of their trumpet players, is also a member of the Texas paintball scene. Visit them on Facebook and Instagram to check out some of their past performances, or give them a call to book them for your event today. In the Pits is partnered with Skull Monkeys Paintball. Equip, engage, excel. In the Pits is partnered with XTPL Events. The Extreme Tournament Paintball League is a series put on by the Lukow family of Paintball Fit fame that gives the opportunity for players to learn and grow together as a team. 3-man, Challengers and Champions X-Ball, Draft Mech X-Ball, and even Youth 3v3. There's something for everyone at XTPL. Not to mention prize tosses, raffles, and the infamous paintball munching contest. Events happen throughout the year, and the prizes never disappoint. Sign up for an XTPL event today on PB Leagues. In the Pits is partnered with Hydra. Designed by players, for players, you can outfit yourself in Hydra gear from head to toe. Have confidence that when you make a purchase from Hydra, you are purchasing a well-tested and well-thought-out product, trusted by several top teams, including first-place semi-pro team, PaintballFit.com. I personally recommend their Hydra Black knee pads. Purchases over $100 receive free shipping. Head to hydra.fit to browse their selection and discover the Hydra mentality. In the Pits is partnered with BEM Wraps. Behind every mask is a unique and creative player. Tap into it when you order your next custom headpiece. Their Build-A-Band lets you communicate with them one-on-one to make your order just the way you want, all the way down to the color of the stitch. Check out their Instagram at BEMWraps for drops and build videos of them working on orders. They offer very competitive pricing, so reach out today to get started on your own one-of-a-kind headpiece. In the Pits is sponsored by FU Athletics, created with a purpose and focused on building a better you. We are a brand that matters in your workout, and every purchase gives back to cancer research. Go to thefuathletics.com and use code INTHEPITS25 for 25% off of your order. In the Pits is partnered with Compete. Compete is a Texas-based brand by Jell Stewart of professional team AC Diesel that provides custom jerseys, pants, headbands, straps, tech shirts, and any other soft goods to help individuals and teams compete at the highest level. Support Texas Paintball and message Compete on Facebook or Instagram and mention In the Pits Podcast for 10% off your entire order. In the Pits is partnered with Get Dat Shot. Get Dat Shot now offers first-in-line photo and video editing, 20% off Get Dat Shot merch, and 20% off prints to all teams that wear the Get Dat Shot logo on their jersey. Message GetDat_shot on Facebook or Instagram to become a Get Dat Shot program team. In the Pits is partnered with Paintball Kumite. Paintball Kumite is a program designed by Colt Roberts of professional team San Antonio X Factor to take paintball players of all ages, experience levels, and skill groups and mold them into champions. The program breaks the game down into small, easy-to-learn sessions designed to help you master the fundamentals so that you can elevate your game. Newcomers to the program get a free 1-hour introductory class when mentioning In the Pits. To sign up for a class, message at Paintball Kumite on Instagram. Welcome everybody to episode 73 of In the Pits Paintball Podcast. This podcast is focused on everything that has to do with the paintball scene here in Texas, from professional players and teams to new divisional programs, local tournament series, field owners, Texas-based brands, even photographers and videographers. Every week, we will have a short and sweet episode with a new topic and a new special guest. Except for this week, we got two. So I am Christian Smith. I'm a player for the Texas Titans. And this episode, we are going in the pits with Jasey Limon, owner and operator of Uno's Jerky. Jasey, how are you doing this evening?
Hey, Christian, I'm doing great. It's good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you. Good to have you back on. I know you came on for the roundtable with the building a brand, which was I think it was pretty successful. But it's good to have you on for your own personal episode.
Thanks, man. Yeah, that roundtable was great. It was a good perspective from Ryan and Verbal.
Absolutely, and JD, can't forget him.
Oh, right. Yep, he was in there. Yep, JD. We just talked about him too.
Yeah, so that was a good one, but now we're getting you on, getting your story. So let's hop into it. This first question is brought to us by XTPL Events. So for those listening that maybe don't know about you, how long have you been involved in the Texas paintball scene?
Competitively, not very long. I've started here competitively recently in 2020. I was involved, back in 2010, 2008, 2006. But not as competitive as it is like now. It was just getting together at the local field with all the other speedballers, and just playing.
Gotcha. So even I guess like even before you got in competitively, what did it look like for you?
Oh man, it was. We had a field in the back of my house. It was about an acre, and it used to be like a junkyard of some sort that my grandpa owned. And then he cleared it all out one day, and it was all flat. And we just decided to put old car parts as bunkers and pallets and tires and the most random things you can think of. Pieces of aluminum were used as the snake, from like those roofs made out of aluminum. We put it sideways, so that was like the snake. Man, it was just the craziest things you can think of were on that field. That's kind of what it looked like. Real, just real wreck ball.
I love it. Yeah, just
With
no
hazards.
rules. All
It
right.
was so fun. The field was weird. Field wasn't like a rectangle. It was like a rectangle, and then it bulged out on one side.
Mhm.
The one side clearly had the advantage on the other because you could get wider and shoot them. So yeah, it was just paintball for us every weekend with me and my homies.
I love it. I mean, that paintball is more than just the 120 by 150 turf fields, the 5-on-5 format that we know. Paintball is all kinds of things.
Yeah. Oh, dude,
So,
those are so fun.
oh yeah. So, what are some teams that you've played for over the years?
So my first like organized team, I guess you can call it, was Splatin Kings, which was out of Valley Paintball Field in Donna, Texas. Shout out to Roy. He still does his thing every once in a while, and my uncle George, with I think you've met him a few times.
Mhm.
So we were all on the same team. Actually, funny enough, that HGPS event that we won when I did like a little comeback into paintball, I wore that Splatin Kings T-shirt or jersey at that tournament. So, yeah, that was the first ever organized team I ever played with. Then when I got back in, I found, the Titans, and that's, one of the organizations that is talked about here, the most here in Texas. It's way more organized than I thought it was. Like it was gonna be coming into it. And then I moved on to Balls Out, which again is from the Valley at Delta Paintball Field, and they have a very good organization also going. And currently, right now, I'm not really playing for anybody. I still associate myself with Balls Out, but right now I'm just kind of taking a break, focusing on the Jerky game, which that's not my Jerky, but you can kind of get the picture of it. Um, but yeah, I've just been focusing on this whole Jerky thing the last year, or this whole year, really.
Mhm. Well, Balls Out and the Texas Titans are definitely some very good organizations to be associated with. I mean, Balls Out just came off of a series win in Bunkerfest D4. Texas Titans,
Yeah,
are always going in strong. I think they got second place in this series in D5. And it's been a very good story for those two organizations the last couple of years.
yeah, definitely, man. And especially when you like consider like where it started and where it's coming from, man. It's like it blows you away sometimes when you hear the stories.
Yeah, and those two organizations, I mean, it's it's not often that you see longevity within the community of like Texas like tournament paintball as far as like the team names themselves. There's very few that stand the test of time, but you've got the Texas Titans and you've got Balls Out who are I know the Titans, they're about to wrap up their third year as an organization and they're going into year 4 very strong. Balls Out, I think they're on a similar time frame as well. So it like before, I want to say like before COVID, there weren't very many teams that stood the test of time like that.
Yeah, no, it was very rare when you hear it. I think one of the only teams that I really could think of that stayed for a while was IDK in the Valley, which was like 3 or 4 years. PDK also from the Valley, and there's another San Antonio team that I can't really think of the name. Man, that lasted. I think it was Grit. Was it lasted a little bit,
Grit
but
was
they
around for
went
a
on to
while,
like
yeah. Yeah, you got
So
Grit.
those,
I think Notorious obviously has been around for a very long time. Shut Up or Trying has been around for a while, but there's like it's crazy. Like 4 years, 4 years isn't that long of a time, but like
it's long in professional
comparatively, it's
football.
like we're already like the senior dogs in this community now. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely the meme, right? Hey, you've been playing D4 for like 3 years. Like, sorry,
Yeah. Sorry, Greed's been doing it for way longer.
we're playing the point game.
Yeah, I mean the point game is part of it. It's they're just playing the rules. I don't give them any fault for playing the point game. I mean that's part of it. That's how the system's built. They're just playing it, to the most effective way that they can.
Just win, man. That's all you got to do. Just win.
That's all it is. Yeah.
Just
all
win.
Right.
Yeah.
So this next question is brought to us by Skull Monkeys Paintball. So what was it that got you into paintball to begin with?
So my cousin Javi, I originally started playing with him. I don't remember exactly how old I was, but we were at I don't know if you're familiar with Arroyo City out there in kind of north of Harlingen. Usually it's like a hot spot for people to go rent like um piers for like the weekend. That has like a house, like an Airbnb, and it has like a pier attached to it. You can go fishing for the weekend, stuff like that. We had rented one, and he came over with one of those Talons, the little pump guns.
Mm-hmm.
And I was still a kid because I remember still just being young, and we duct tape. As a chest protector, I duct tape a Little Caesars pizza box to my chest. So I felt very confident going out and playing now. Well, little did I know that everything else is unprotected, and he's not. Paintballs don't shoot as accurate as we think they're gonna shoot. So when he finally shot me, he shot me on the wrist bone. And I'll never forget. He shot me on the wrist bone, this one, and I screamed. I was a kid. I screamed. That hurt. It hurt so bad. I had a scar. I remember showing it off at school. Like, yeah, I played paintball. But then just the next weekend, we did it again. And we just did it again. And then we bought spiders. And then we bought electronic guns. And then we just kept playing. I think it was just the rush or just shooting somebody with a paintball was just like the thing to do for me. Like, that's all I wanted to do. And I mean, that's what kind of got me into it. Just hanging out with the homies, shooting each other with paintballs, and let's be real, we're kind of jerks to each other when we're playing paintball, and I think that was the fun part about it. You can kind of be a bully, but then afterwards, you can kind of just go back to being friends.
Yep, it's a crazy thing that we all do week in and week out. But hey, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
So fun. I wouldn't either.
So this next question is brought to us by Podrunners Union, which shout out to Sasha Zucker, Mr. Strike Force, Mr. MVP himself.
Oh man, how about that?
Yes, sir. So what are some things that you've noticed have changed within the Texas paintball scene over time, either for better or for worse?
The camaraderie behind paintball, first of all, has been great. I remember when I was with Splatting Kings, while the teams normally kind of got along for the most part, it wasn't as like tight as it is now. You know, you can see the community come together for like a greater cause. You see the community come together for like celebrations of paintball, i.e., USXBL, Bunkerfest, NXL. I don't like to call them paintball tournaments because they're really just a celebration of paintball. Like we're just coming together, shooting each other for the weekend, see who's better than the next person next to us, and we go home and then we do it again in a couple months, you know? And sometimes you'll meet strangers and they'll just become your best friends because you're playing paintball with them every weekend. You know, you get to travel. I mean, it's just from the time that it's when I got into it, or maybe I'm just living in a whole different world now, but like when I was into it, it felt like it was just my backyard and some of the local fields, and that was it. And it wasn't like as tight as I've seen it, like at X Factor or at Fit or at Outlaw or Wasteland. You know, it's
Mm.
like or Delta. You know, it's a lot more of a tight knit community than we realize sometimes, and I think that's what's changed the most from back when I started.
Yeah, a lot of different communities have started popping up all over Texas within paintball. Like it's more than just how, like, if you think like pre-COVID, like 2016 to 2020, you had a couple of big areas like DFW obviously had Cousins, Fit, Fun on the Run. Houston had Zone. San Antonio had X Factor. Outlaw Paintball was in Austin, and those were kind of like the big hubs back then. But the community has grown so much, and then like obviously Elite was out there in Lubbock, but now there's like there's the communities within those areas are so much bigger nowadays, but B, there's more cities that are kind of thrown into the mix, like the Valley area, like El
Yeah.
Paso is starting to get more involved. You know, you've got the Odessa Outlaw guys, and Corpus is starting to feed in as well. Like there's like 7 or 8 different spots that you gotta like that are all kind of contributing to this Texas wide community.
And that's the crazy part, right? Because when I remembered I was just watching the 2006 Smart Parts Championships at the Mohegan Sun, and just I'm just gonna throw this out there. I totally forgot Colt Roberts played for Naughty Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I saw the roster, I was like, "What? Colty's in there?" Totally forgot about that. Shout out Colty. But I thought at that point paintball's massive, right? Like paintball's reached its pinnacle, but in reality, I think we're just scratching the surface as to what it actually is, because now it's not just Dallas and San Antonio in Texas and SC Village and ASG in California. Like now it's so many. You got LAX, you got Blast Camp, you got the Tri City area. I forgot the name of their field out there in New York. You got Tiki's Paintball in Florida. Like you got all these paintball fields that are massive and producing teams, and it's just trickling down to the divisionals, and then it trickles down to the fans and people surrounded in paintball.
Yeah, I think part of it is like if you look at the last couple of years, like obviously Paintball Fit started coming out, like really coming up in 2016, 2017, and then they built their field brick by brick to what it is today. Like one of the probably like top 3, if not the number 1 best tournament field in the country. And with that, and with their how they're innovating, like with the night ball stuff, like they're building a roadmap for other fields across the country and like setting a new bar for them to like be held accountable to.
Yeah, and giving the kids, not just kids, but us adults too, but we're still kids. Giving us a place to like play, right? Like I remember growing up, and even the Valley Fields now aren't open during the week for our guys to go and scrimmage or run some drills. It's barely open on time on Sundays. Paintball Fit is doing it right. It's not just giving a roadmap for other fields, it's giving a roadmap for the players to advance into the pro level like they want to. They're open on the weekend, during the week at nights. They're open on the weekends early, and they cater to their players so they can succeed in what they want to do. And I think that's the way they got to do it from now on.
Absolutely. So looking in the chat here, we got some love here. Let's see, from Limonator 885. He says he got the meats. Dan Shelley says best jerky in the world. AFG filming at Don sending some hearts. D Banks is sending some hearts. And from Ruben, our D5 boy on the Titans, Ruben Maldonado, he says, JC, what is your favorite position to play on the field?
Oh man, I think that's a question that only him and I can discuss. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. uh, I loved playing down the center a lot, but year two of my little, when I came back into the sport, I started trying to trickle out a little wider. So I started playing the two on the snake side. Um, I do like playing that a lot now. Not just up the center because everyone knew I was just going down the center shooting people. So I love to go out wide a little bit now. And before I kind of took a break, I was actually trying to get into the snake as much as I can. So I just love being a little bit wider than before.
Hey, you were doing some damage up the middle though. Don't like discount yourself when you were playing that spot.
Oh no, I loved it. I'm just saying, I kind of wanted to get out a little wider sometimes too.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole different world. It feels like.
Yeah, it's fun to shoot people in all kinds of ways, whether you're bunkering them up the middle or you're shooting them in the back, from the tapes,
Yeah.
from getting all the way
it's
into
fun.
their corner. All
I
right.
definitely know.
So next question is brought to us by Bem Raps, Brandon Ortega. Shout out to you, sir. So you are the owner and operator of Uno's Jerky, which has been going strong since mid 2021. We heard a little about you back on like the round table, but tell us about how Uno's was created.
So Uno's was created during COVID. And during COVID, there was I'll give you guys a full story on that. We'll sum it up a little bit. I won't make it too long. But I was into a YouTube like home chef, I guess you can call him. Just a YouTube chef, Um, his name is Joshua Wiseman, and he's actually from Austin, I believe, or Houston, or something like that. And he has a series, or started a series called But Better. And me and my uncle were driving around during COVID because there's nothing else to do. And we found a jerky spot here in Corpus, and we decided to stop by and get some jerky. While we were blown away with the flavor, I made a joke, in homage to Joshua Wiseman. I said I could make this but better. And me and my uncle George made a little bet on it. And that's kind of how it kind of just got created. I took on a little bet. I lost it. Don't get me wrong, because I totally trashed the first batch I ever made. Felt like I was biting into a hockey puck. And it was terrible, man. When I tell you it was terrible, it was terrible. And eventually it just kept growing, and I just, I mean, I still can't believe it's where it's at now. Just when I look back at it, there's no chance I would have thought about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It was terrible.
This man's a betting man, he said. Make bets with him, he's going to go through with it. So
yeah, it was a bad bet.
Well, I mean, you ended up where you are now, so how bad was it really?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. At the time.
So this next question is brought to us by Mariachi Aguilas de Oro. So how did you come up with the name Uno's?
So that's my favorite question to answer, because it has a lot of dark humor, I think, in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I got sick back in 2020. Yeah, back in 2020. During COVID, I got sick. I had to have my testicle removed. It ended up being a bad testicle, like a defective one or something. It had cancer or something like that. And and I had it removed. So when I went back to work, my friends from work all called me Uno because of it. It started at work. It was the girls. They all just made fun of me. My girls working there, they were all calling me Uno, and it was the funniest thing at first, and then it kind of caught on. So when I decided to take my jerky public and try to have people eat it and taste it and enjoy it, the first thing that came to my mind was I gotta call it Uno's. It can't be Jasey's. It's gotta be Uno's because now it has a story. And it was around the same time that I started the whole jerky thing when I got diagnosed with cancer. So like it was a perfect name for like the jerky, you know. It's just I had to do it.
Well, I gotta say, I've got a ton of respect for the name. You gotta really play into that. That's a huge story there, and it's definitely got me. Definitely like catches my attention where I'm like, why is it called Uno's? But yeah, definitely a story. I like anytime like people are there. If I'm hanging out with them, maybe we're eating some jerky at the event or whatever. They're like, I wonder why it's called Uno's. And I was like, go ask him.
Oh, I've had people run to the booth. T from Houston,
Yep,
he
I
came
told him to
running to
come
the
ask
booth.
you. I was like, hey, yeah, go ask him his story.
He's like, "Why do you have it? Why is it called Uno's?" And I was like, he's like, "Is it because of the?" And I go, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh my god, this is the funniest thing!" And he left running again. I guess he went back to you,
Hmm.
and that was so funny. That was easily one of the funniest moments I've had at Bunker Fest when he just randomly came up to me in front of everybody and yelled it out. And yeah, that's the whole thing behind Uno's, you know.
Hmm. All right. So this next question is brought to us by Paintball Kumite. So as far as like getting this thing going, what were your startup costs and your first experiences like, and how long did it take you to get to where you were like comfortable with selling the product that you were making?
Yeah, so my startup cost originally wasn't too bad. You know, it was just like $100 here, $100 there, just to kind of like get the jerky. But then again, remember, I was making terrible jerky at first. So like I didn't know what I was doing. Eventually to tell you when I got comfortable enough when I started taking it to X Factor and having people just eat jerky. Remember, I was just giving away bags, remember?
Mm.
And you were around. And I was just giving away bags at first and everyone was loving it. But I was also being careful that I wasn't gonna hurt somebody, if that makes any sense. I wanted to make sure that my jerky was not just gonna like go and get somebody sick. So I was like, "Did anybody get sick?" They're like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, I'm doing a good job so far." Because it's nerve wracking, you know. Like
Mm.
you cook something, you know you did it right, but there's always this one thing in the back of your mind that anything can happen, right? So it was always nerve wracking for me. But then, so that's when I kind of realized that, hey, you know, I think I can do this like all the time. I have to be able to do it all the time. I have, you know, it's great food and I'm doing it correctly and I'm following all the precautions. I'm like, I just gotta be, I just gotta do it, right? So that's when I officially started going public with it, like trying to sell it actively. Um, and that's kind of how I just got comfortable with it. I just didn't, people enjoyed it and people would fight over the last bag at X Factor. Like they would literally just play paper rock scissors over it. And that's when it was like starting to click. Like maybe I should start selling these things because I'm
Mm.
pretty good at it, I guess.
I love it. You're like, I'm pretty sure I've done this right and I'm not going to get anybody sick, but just in case, who's a big enough group of idiots that's going to be all right with getting tested out on this stuff? And then, like, oh, I got it. Let's go to the
Yeah,
paintball field.
let's go to Christian and Dylan, and
Yes.
they'll try it first.
No shame. No shame. Mm-mm.
Like
All
this will
right.
be fine.
So that's when you started like getting your product out there. Was that how much time would you say between like when you first started making and that was that like a couple months, like a little less than a year around, or
Um, so when I started taking it to the field at first, it had been well over 6 months of me cooking at home before I even decided to take the free ones. Before I decided to go like full on with it, wasn't long after that. It was like 2 months, maybe like 8 months from the first time that I made those bloody hockey pucks to the delicious food that you taste now. Was about 8 months. And it's still being tweaked. Every little thing is still being tweaked. The marinade gets tweaked just a little bit every batch I make. It's not enough for anybody to taste the difference, but someone I think that knows what's going into it, I can definitely taste certain things. Like I definitely tasted when I took away 10 grams of a certain ingredient
mm,
per 15 pounds of beef. Like you, if I tasted that, like that means y'all are gonna taste it. So I just try to like tweak it just very little. Sometimes it's missing a little heat, sometimes missing a little salt, sometimes it's just missing a little bit of pepper or the garlic or the habanero, whatever that whatever the heck is going into it. Um, and I tweak it from there. And right now, the only one I'm having issues with is the demo. I can't get that thing to be like perfect for me because I'm never satisfied.
Mm. Well, demo's your hottest flavor, so right? It's your current hottest flavor, or
it's currently my hottest, and it probably will stay the hottest flavor that I have.
mm. Gotcha. So
I don't think I want to go spicier than that.
It's actually it's a pretty decent heat. Like it's not gonna like hurt you or anything like that. And it's even for someone who maybe is a little bit more sensitive to like hot spices, it's not bad at all.
I just say it because there are some pieces of real habanero peppers in there that have been dehydrated.
Mm.
So if you get a piece that's pretty much half of it is a habanero pepper, it's gonna blow your socks off. So that's why I tell them it's the spiciest one, but you have to get certain pieces that are gonna make it that spicy one.
Right, for sure. So this question is brought to us by Why I Paintball. So do you have any advice for anyone either wanting to get into food products or anyone wanting to start their own business or brand?
Yeah, definitely. Do your research first. Make sure it's something that you really are passionate about. It's not just like a money grab. Like I love cooking. I was watching a cooking show when I came up with this idea. So I think you have to do your research first because even if you dive, kind of head first the way I did, I'm even today I'm still learning how to do certain things the right way, or I'm realizing, oh, I might need to get this later down in the future if I want to do this later in the future with my jerky. So I might as well start investing in it now because um learning as you're going is extremely difficult. It's like now that it's my full-time job and I'm still learning as I'm going, like I mess up a lot. It doesn't look like it on the front end, but I mess up a lot, especially when it comes to paperwork for like, your taxes and stuff.
Mm.
Like I'm totally lost in everything sometimes. So, do your research first, definitely. And the second thing I would definitely tell people is if don't do it unless you're comfortable. Like if you're not comfortable doing a certain thing, just don't do it. I know it might make you money and you might like doing it, but if you're not comfortable with it, don't do it. And do something that you're gonna have fun with.
All right, well said. Yeah. So in the chat, real quick, we got Hector Andrade says, "Dang, now I'm craving jerky and I don't have any." Well, Hector, I think y'all are going to Cup, right? So you gotta pick some up there.
No, they're not going to Cup.
Oh, they
No,
aren't. Dang, that's a
I
shame.
know. No, I'm bummed. I know. I'm bummed too.
And then
Demo's going to Cup.
Yeah, I know Demo's going to be there, and then the Titans will have their D5 line there. So
D Banks.
Yeah, D Banks says, "Got a fresh batch. All the flavors banging."
Man, thank you. Like seriously, thank you. That's the whole reason why I do this. Just want people to taste good food. That's all it's really all. That's all it's about, really.
For sure. So before we continue, I just want to give a announcement in case you missed the announcement last night on Justin Rabikoff's episode. I am hosting my own JOUST event, which is inspired by the Hormesis Elite Tour JOUST. It's going to be like 1v1, except you're on teams of 20, like kind of choose your champion style. You send out one at a time, and the two teams just kind of go at it for 90 minutes, and it's a lot of fun. You've got players ranging from like beginners, players who have never played any tournaments before, maybe they're on the outside looking in, all the way up to like more experienced players, like higher divisional guys that you're at the local area, all the way up to some professionals. Like I've gotten confirmations from several pros, including Colt Roberts, Alex Martinez, Archie Montemayor, Ryan Brand, that all say that they are going to be involved in some way for the event. So yeah, it'll be a ton of fun. Don't miss it.
Whoever shoots Ryan Brand in the face first will get a free bag of jerky. Just saying it right now.
I don't know if he's going to be participating as a player. He might end up being a general. We'll see exactly how the schedule is going to work. But I know Project for sure is going to be there and contributing some things. I know they're going to give away some stuff as well.
Fine, you can shoot Archie.
We'll see. We'll see how they end up being involved if they're going to play or if they're going to be generaling or just kind of there supporting. But yeah, don't miss it. Sign up link is I just put it there in the chat, in the live chat here. It's also going to be in the description on YouTube, or if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever my other thing is. I can't even remember what all platforms I'm on, but if you're listening to this, head to my Facebook or Instagram page and the links will be there as well. So next question is brought to us by FU Athletics. So throughout your career, do you have a single favorite moment?
Yeah, so I think my favorite moment, and we touched on it a little bit before the show when we were talking. So we were at Lone Star Open and Round Rock, the NXL, and I'm hanging out with Aldan, and I had a backpack. This is even crazier. I had a backpack full of jerky, just like I stuffed it with jerky, and I didn't have a booth. So what I did was I kind of got a paintball box in true paintball fashion, and I wrote jerky for sale. And I made it like my uncle cut it to like a way where I could just strap it to the back of my bag.
Mm-hmm.
And I just had that sign and people were buying jerky. And I get to the grandstands and Cliff Shivers buys a bag of jerky. He shares it with everybody. I'm already leaving, thinking I'm done for the day. He calls me. He's like, "Hey man." I go, "What's up?" He's like, "I just gave away your bag of jerky and there's like 10 people that want your jerky right now. Can you come back?" And I was already by my car. I was like, "Yeah, I'll be there in like 15 minutes." So I took off, sold out all my jerky. On my way down, that was cool too. On my way down, I see Aldan, and which is AFG. Oh, by the way, Aldan, congratulations on your pro media spot, buddy. I'm very happy for you. Infamous is gonna get great photos. I was with AFG, and he said, "Hey man, I wanna be on the pro field by World Cup," or we were like talking smack that we were gonna do it, and we were just kind of like talking about it, but not really like being about it, kind of thing. We're just talking about it, and I mentioned, "Yeah, and I'm gonna go sell my jerky there with you, bro, and you can be at my tent." And here we are, 7 days before the event starts, and we're literally about to live it. Like we were just talking about that at NXL, and here we are at World Cup, the same bloody year, and we're gonna do that. So it's kind of like a leap for us. So we're gonna just go out there and try to kill it.
I mean, that just speaks to the amount of work that both of you guys have been putting in this year. I know that Adon AFG filming, he took a step back from playing so that he can really get his media side going off, and then he like quickly gets. I want to say the USXBL hired him as like an official media person for them. And he's also flown out to events like the WCPPL events and getting booked there by teams. Like now
he's so bummed I missed that.
Yeah, now he's going
we were supposed to
World
fly
Cup.
out together.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, I was supposed to take my jerky out there, and we were supposed to fly out together. I was supposed to sell my jerky. I was supposed to take photos, and I had something come up last minute that I just couldn't go. So now we're gonna make it happen though for World Cup.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, I know you were potentially going to be at WC. You were also potentially going to be at Chicago, but now you're finally making it happen. I love it.
Yeah, dude, definitely. I've been working on it all season, and I don't even realize it. That's what we were talking about too. We don't realize how much we've been working on it until we talk about that moment, that Round Rock, when we kind of just were BSing that we were going to do it, and here we are actually doing it, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, congrats to you both, and we can't wait to see how it goes for you guys. Yeah, we're gonna be rooting for y'all for sure. So, this next question right here, let's see. Actually, looking at the chat, let's see. Dylan Strickland's in here giving some love. Let's see. Jess G Fabs. I can't quite see how to pronounce that, but what's up,
Yes.
Jess? Then Hector says Jerky is the best at tournaments. Like you're hungry and you want some protein, but at the same time you can't have a big meal. So yeah, Uno's is perfect for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, definitely. That was the whole idea behind it too. You know, I haven't really ventured outside of paintball yet, so that was kind of like the whole deal. Just get a snack in and get back on the field to play.
Perfect. I mean, that's a great concept there, and it seems to be working out pretty well. So yeah, this next question, let's see. So just about all of your flavors are inspired by Texas paintball. Like you've got Texas Demolition, got the Texas Titans, you've got Balls Out. So tell us how you go about creating new flavors, and then how is it that you decide like which name to give them?
So, at first, when I decided to name certain flavors, was because I was trying to do a little bit of a word. It still does a little bit of wordplay. So, like Texas Titan was my lime pepper and mango flavors mixed together, and that was like everybody's favorite. Everybody wanted that flavor, and so at the time, when we were talking, I was on the tight ends, and we were, essentially the jerky sales was like providing the funds to play paintball. So I was like, hey, AD Banks talking about flavors, about that Cajun flavor. We'll touch on that in a second. Um, I was like, I gotta name this one the Titans because this is the one that's funding me everything. So I made a deal with Dylan. Dylan said it's all good, so then we named it, the Texas Titan flavor. The next one
I
was a
love how
spicy
the
one.
that's the story that you give, but whenever I asked you, hey, why is this one called the Texas Titan flavor? You're like, it's because it's the fruitiest.
That's supposed to stay in the pits, man.
Well, I mean,
Um, yeah, because it's the fruitiest. Then when Balls Out, when Balls Out became a flavor, it was just our spicy lime pepper. So it was. Some people would say it's extremely spicy. Some people were saying it was just man spicy. But either way, I did a little wordplay with Balls Out and the spiciness of that, jerky. And then demo, same thing. Wordplay on it was, it's supposed to be my spiciest flavor. Demolition. It's gonna, destroy your stomach, kind of thing. Like I don't know. I just was trying to go for like a spicy wordplay thing, but in reality, all these teams have committed to Uno's jerky, right? Texas Titans. I can't even go on to say how many bags of jerky you guys have bought in the last 3 years or 2 years, or however long I've been in business. You guys have bought so much jerky. You guys were there when bags were $6. Let me just put it to you that way.
mm-hmm.
Bags were $6 at one point. They've gone up a little bit, but bags were $6. You guys were there. Balls Out, same thing. I've bought hundreds of bags. And Demo, I just did their deal. They've bought in over 500 bags. So it's all about commitment. I also don't just name the bags after a team that I may like. It's a team that I see that is one has the commitment to buy the amount of bags necessary for one, the jerky to be named that, and two, the commitment behind paintball. Like I'm not just gonna name the team or the jerky after a team that just got together like a year ago and still hasn't won anything and might fizzle out in 1 or 2 years. I don't want to gamble on that. I want to gamble on teams that are like, they have an organization, they're structured, they've been around for a little bit, and they have a future where they're gonna be around. So those are the teams that I kind of want to be part with because it's not just a commitment of buying, X amount of bags for me. It's also the commitment of you're gonna be a team throughout this whole venture because later on I'm gonna have to rename it something, and I don't really want to rename anything that's already kind of popular, you know. So that's kind of like the whole thing with naming the bags of jerky. I get hundreds of those requests, by the way. Every tournament, every team. It's like I'm like, yeah, man, I want to talk about it. Let's talk about it. Some of them do hit me up. I'm actually working on some other teams right now. I don't want to give away too much information. We're working on a flavor together right now. And yeah, the Cajun flavor, D Banks. That's reserved right now, and if you're talking about a Cajun flavor, and if I remember the name correctly, I think I saw it on Instagram. So if you're talking about LAX, yes, it's gonna do something with LAX.
All righty. Well, we can't wait to see what's next for you.
Oh, thanks, man. It's gonna be wild next year. I can't wait.
hmm So,
Every tournament.
so this question wasn't in the list that I sent you, but how, for anybody listening that like wants to order your jerky, how can they do that? And what are some of like the different purchasing options that you offer? Like, is it just like you kind of buy bags one at a time, or do you offer like bulk rates or even like a subscription service?
Yeah, so the easiest way to order jerky is just go to unosjerky.com. Right now the website is paused for World Cup. I don't want to take on orders that you're not going to get until after mid-November. So I don't want anybody waiting on their jerky. So once the Monday of World Cup happens, it'll go back to being open where you can order. I do have some specials where if you buy 3 bags, you get $4 off your whole order. So, or those 3 bags really. So it's the 3 for 20 that everybody's familiar with at the tournaments. Buy 3 bags, it's $20 instead of 24. That was kind of made for like the ease of people just with you're buying paint with cash for the most part. You're not buying it with like credit card. So everybody always had 20s on them. I noticed that. And I was like, you know what? Instead of having them pay $24 or 21, like when it was at $7, like I would just have them pay $20 for the 3 bags. So when I went to $8, I kept it the same. Because I mean, I thought it was even a better deal to do the 3 for 20 than it was to, sell 3 bags at $24. So you get that on the website. Bulk orders or custom orders, you have to message me on Instagram privately
Mm,
or send an email to the website. We can talk about that because there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just like, oh, I'm buying 200 bags. It's like, okay, how soon do you need them kind of thing, and that kind of like differs on the price a little bit, and then the poundage of it too. Um, and that's kind of like the way to order jerky. You can even use Afterpay on my website. A couple people have used Afterpay for the jerky, believe it or not. A few people actually. Shop Pay is available. You can pay with PayPal. You can pay with anything on the website. And of course, come to the events. Come hang out, even if you're not playing and you're living nearby. Just come hang out. My tent's always open to everybody.
for sure. Yeah, I know. Like, my wife actually asked me today if I had any left over from the last time I saw you, and I was like, it's been over a month. How long do you think
It's been
these bags of jerky are gonna last in my possession?
it's been more than 4 hours. I'm pretty sure I ate all 10 of them.
Yeah, I was like, you're lucky that I even had any left after the drive back from Bunkerfest. You crazy?
It's a long drive.
hmm So yeah, I know I kind of ask you about it every time I see you, but do you have any plans to do like a subscription box, like a monthly thing or anything like that?
Yeah, so I'm working on that, man. I did put out an Instagram post, and it seemed like a lot of people were interested in it. It's just figuring out like the whole how often do I want to send it kind of thing. Do I want to send it every week? Because then that's a lot of work, and then you're getting charged every week, or do I want to send it every 2 weeks? I know that different people can choose different options of what they'd like. I just I want to get more like refined in my process of making it more efficient, to where like I'll be comfortable enough where if I can make a batch of jerky every day, I mean I will.
Mm,
Right now it's kind of like every 2 days. Right now before World Cup, the funding came in a little late, so like I'm rushing to get there to the end. But I think that the subscription is coming. It's just I don't know exactly when. I'm looking more like towards the New Year's. And while we're talking about the website and the subscription, um, this holiday season, I'm gonna do a giveaway for the holiday season. I'm actually gonna talk to Ryan. I've talked to Ryan already. I brought it up, but we're gonna talk about it at World Cup. Um, we're gonna talk about a couple things. I'm gonna talk to a couple of other vendors like Dye, Masons, Outlaw Anodizing. I wanted to talk to I Hate Paintball. Love those guys, and I wanted to talk to Enemy of the State and see if I can buy a couple of items from them and give those away. For every bag of jerky that is purchased under your name, I will put an entry into the giveaway, and then before the holidays, before Christmas, I will do the giveaway. So you have time to get that, whether it's going to be a gift for yourself or for a friend. You can receive that gift and be able to give it to them on Christmas. So
Ooh,
that's the whole idea behind it.
dang, fresh off the press coming in for the show. We got a giveaway going on for Uno's Jerky. All right.
Yeah, I gotta figure out the prizes, but yeah, that's the whole thing. Every bag of jerky that gets bought gets an entry into the giveaway. If I feel like it's not gonna be like a lot of people, I might just do like a massive giveaway of like 3 items, but it'll be a gun, it'll be a hopper, and it'll be like, I don't know, just cash in general. Because it's not just gonna be paintball related. I gotta also cater to the people that don't play paintball,
Mm.
so I gotta figure that out. Yeah.
I don't know about y'all, but potentially getting winning a paintball marker just by buying the jerky that I'm going to buy anyway, like that's a dub. So,
Yeah, that's what I hope for.
absolutely. So, yeah, be on the lookout for that for the holiday season for sure. So, this next question is brought to us by Hydra. So, you've had booths at Bunkerfest all year long, but now you're getting ready to sell at the biggest paintball event of the year, NXL World Cup, and this one's looking like it's going to be the biggest World Cup ever. So, what got you to make the jump to the national stage?
Oh man, literally the people that ordered that I have never met. The people in Florida, the people in Pennsylvania, the people out in North Carolina, the people out in California, the people in Detroit, the people in Washington. I've had some orders from Columbus, Ohio. Um, all those people have either messaged me on Instagram or emailed me personally saying, "When are you going to be at an event nearby?" I said no better to do it at World Cup, and that's when I kind of called it on and said, "Let's do it. Let's just do it." And he said, "I'm down." I said, "Cool, let's do it." So that was kind of like the thing. It was just people ordering and wanting to meet me and wanting to like see what the jerky's about, like at a tournament. That's where now I was like, "Yo, I got to do this. I got to go sell. I got to go get my jerky out to more people." Because I think Anson was the one that said it. The product's good. I just got to educate people on it and let them know that it's out here. And that was kind of like the driving force behind it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's cool that you're getting kind of contacts from all over the US, but I'm excited to see how the worldwide impact is going to be with you've got teams from all over the world, teams from Europe, teams from, Latin America, teams from Asia that are going to be there. It's going to be insane to see because I mean, looking at the signups right now, which I think the deadline to sign up for World Cup was this past Tuesday. Yeah, it was on Halloween. So right now there are 570 teams paid, which doesn't include like the 10-man and the Sunday 3-man signups. So there's going to be a lot of individuals there from all over.
570 teams, dude. I don't think I have enough jerky to cover one bag per team right now.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
I think I'm over. Like, I'm in trouble. You better get your jerky on Thursday or Friday because by Saturday, Sunday, I expect it to be gone.
All right. Love to hear it. Yeah, and we're definitely going to be having some individuals, everybody that knows, everybody from Texas and the other places that already know, they're, get your bags quick.
Yeah, they're going to be the first ones. I already have to sell some bags before I even leave. I think I got to go to X Factor and people are picking up bags already at San Antonio. So, guys, I'm telling you, now that we see the amount of teams and how many bags I know I'm going to take, yeah, I'm not going to have enough bags for everybody. I hate to say it, but I wish I did. But yeah, 570 teams, as what I'm taking right now, I'm barely going to cover one bag per team. So make sure you get it early because it will sell out, I think.
So for reference, last year's World Cup, granted there was the hurricane that I think they had to cancel a division or two and they had some other stuff happen. But last year there was 555 teams. We're already, 15 teams more than that, not including the Sunday signups. So it's, very, very crowded event this year. So,
Yeah, I
they,
think last year they were expecting over 600 because I thought I saw a post that
mm,
said the most ever, and it said like over 600 teams. I think the hurricane,
yeah.
pushed a lot of teams out. So that's really tough. Yeah.
Well, it's gonna be make for a stronger comeback for this one.
Yeah, hopefully, and I hope that I succeed in selling all my jerky. It really helps the family because this is all I do, man. This is my only gig. So I hope people just enjoy it. Really, like I said, just want people to taste good food.
All right. So, what can we expect out of the Uno's booth next week? And do you have any special surprises in store?
Not that I can think of at the moment. It's just always gonna be the way Uno's jerky is. If you've gone to Bunkerfest, and I think everyone that's gone to Bunkerfest knows that my booth is pretty much a kickback. You just come. I usually have a chair available for anybody that wants to come and sit down and chop it up for a little bit, drink some water, whatever you're drinking. Most of them are not drinking water. Most of them are drinking beer or something. But people just come all the time. Cliff always coming through. Aldana in between his games, he'll leave. Dylan would come by, and then I have people I've never met before but bought the jerky at LAX coming through saying what's up, chopping it up for a little bit. It's always a nice little chill spot at my booth. You can just come through, hang out. Maybe I'll tell you something that's going to be in the giveaway, maybe not. Maybe I'll have something already ready for the giveaway there at the booth. I don't know yet, but as far as right now, it's it's just a kickback at the booth again.
All right, yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Definitely, I'll be sure to come visit you whenever I got a free moment outside of my own booth. But should be a good time.
I hope they line us up across from each other so I can just blow kisses to you like every 2 seconds.
Love it. Yeah, I'm definitely down. So let's see. Looking at the chat, doesn't look like too much else is going on in the chat. But if you have a question for JC, last chance, get your question in the chat. We'll ask him. So JC, this question's
You
brought
have a
to us.
question.
What's that?
Do you have a question? You always ask everybody if they have a question, but you never ask a question.
I mean, I've been asking you questions for the last 52 minutes. What do you mean, dog?
You're right. You're right. You're right.
So this question's brought to us by Get Dat Shot. So message Carlos at getdat_shot on Facebook or Instagram if you're still looking for media coverage at NXL World Cup. So JC, is there anybody in Texas, either teams, players, brands, or projects that have caught your attention lately? Who do you think deserves more recognition for what they're doing?
Yeah, so first off, I mean we touched a little bit on it, is AFG, man. He's getting a media pro spot. It's not easy work to get there. So I think he deserves a lot more recognition for what he's doing. He's out there at the tournaments, hustling, bustling, doing everything that he has to do to, produce good products. I know the other day he dropped his hard drive. That day, I know, but other than that, he's he's doing it, man. He's putting in the work for it. I'm glad he took a step back from paintball to work on his craft, and it's working out for him. Definitely want to give a shout out to my boys in the Valley, Balls Out, for winning, the series. I'm sure they've gotten all the recognition in the world, but we can't stop talking about how incredible it is for them. And Demolition, man, going semi-pro, literally, it felt like maybe just a point or two away from making Sunday. Um, I mean, that team's gonna go to places, and everyone else that just hangs out at the booth at the tournaments, those people, make yourself known. A lot of them come with ideas, and they have great ideas to do something for themselves. And I think that you should always just go out and do it. Just do it. It doesn't matter what people say. Just make sure you do it right. That's all.
Alrighty. Yeah. It's crazy that like how much the Valley has risen up this year alone. It's
Yeah.
insane.
And I want to tell you something, Christian, because we have a platform that we can use to make people aware of like what's really happening down there. And when I said earlier that some fields don't open up till a certain time, there's a specific field that needs to cater to their players because you have teams winning the series and you have a team in semi-pro, and they're trying to move to call another field their home field. And I mean, we need to be able to support them. Like they're doing this. What I'm saying is, without facilities to go play paintball every day, like how you do at Fit in San Antonio, um, and San Antonio, sorry, um, they're winning. They won the series and they don't have facilities like everybody else does. So I think that those teams really need to talk to their field owners and say, hey, you need to give us a facility because if we're doing this without one during the week that's available to us, imagine what we could be doing when there's a facility for
Mhm.
us. You know what I mean? And I think it's crazy, like the valley's growing a lot of and breeding a lot of like just paintball like talent coming out of there. You got Devin, you got Emmy, you got Shantz, you got Brandon Linaldi, you got Taylor Munoz, you got um, Victor Juarez, you got all these boys that were from the valley and they're all doing great. So I think that we need to be able to support our players in any way that we can. If you're someone that doesn't own a field but you have a person in one of these teams, support them, man. Honestly, it's tough to go out here and throw all this money at this sport and sometimes not even win. So sometimes they just need to know that they're doing the right thing and they're doing what they love, and we need to be able to support our players.
Absolutely. Let's see. Looking at the chat, let's see. D Bank says LAX sold 20 bags of the newest order, and we haven't even opened the field yet since it was received. Dang.
I want to know if it's true what Drew says that happens at LAX. Like that, a couple weeks ago, someone was like in a legit heated argument on which flavor was the best. Like they were like yelling at each other, kind of thing. I was like, "Is that really happening?" He's like,
Dang.
"Yeah, dude." I'm like, "What? That's crazy."
It is crazy. Let's see. Lastro Lopez says catching the late. What up, JC?
Nothing much. Mr. Lopez, he's great, man. He's
Mm-hmm.
funny. Yeah,
Definitely.
Mr. Lopez is funny. Yep,
Alrighty. So
the
that
best pod runner.
yeah, so I guess I have one more question for you before we sign off. So I know that you've done a bit of getting in the commentator booth recently. So how has that experience been, and who are the teams that are catching your eye?
Oh man, I can't stop talking enough about that Ani team. Austin Ani.
Hmm.
Man, they've from where they were 2, 3 events ago to where they are, like where they went this past event, where literally I hate to say it was a silly mistake, but the rules are the rules, man. You don't touch the bunker, you're not tapped up. So the rules are rules, but just imagine that little bit costed you the tournament. Imagine what you could do if you just, were just practiced a little bit more or just giving them a second chance. Imagine what would have happened. So that team is very scrappy, and out of everybody, because we do our picks for the tournaments, right? You know that I love the scrappy teams. I'm always picking scrappy teams to upset somebody at some point. So I think Oni is a really good team that I enjoy watching play. Also Houston Zone, good team. I think they're gonna be good very soon. Demo, watch out for them in semi-pro. They're gonna be competitive, I think. And what's that one team from El Paso? I keep getting it wrong.
What are you talking about? The
The
Donut
donut.
Shop Mafia, TDSM?
Yeah, TDSM, man. Those guys are funny when they're playing. I witnessed someone, I don't want to say it live on the air, but they said some pretty funny things on the field when they were playing, and that's what it's all about, just having fun out there, and I can see those guys having fun. So, um, yeah, I think those are the teams that I really enjoy watching.
Alrighty. Sweet. So yeah, that just about does it for our show. This final question is brought to us by Compete, which is Jell Stewart's brand. Message him on Facebook or Instagram. Mention In the Pits for 10% off of your order of soft goods. So JC, thank you so much for your time. Do you have any last shout outs or things you'd like to say before we sign off?
Yeah, Christian, to you, man. Congratulations on your 500 subscribers on your channel. It's a milestone. So, I wish I had 500 followers in anything. So, I'm really happy for you, man. Your podcast, what is it going on? 73, 74. This will be the 73rd episode.
Mhm.
So, man, I mean, you've been doing it for a year straight, is it?
Almost a year and a half now.
13
Yeah.
weeks. Yeah, man, that's crazy. Like, would you have thought you got here?
I mean, I don't know, man. It's like just thinking of how it started was like literally this started because I was pissed off after we got knocked out in quarterfinals at a USXBL at Fit. And I was like, you know what if I started a podcast? And then like 3 days later, Colt came on. And
Nice.
yeah, it's
Nice.
just
Yeah.
I'm very, very fortunate that I've been able to keep it going for 72, 73 weeks straight. Have not missed a single week, even if I've gone on vacation or gone to World Cup. Like we've just done like for this episode, we just film it ahead of time. That way we stay consistent. And yeah, it's been awesome to see how many people have like supported me through this. And I mean, like, look at all of the Patreon subscribers that we've got here at the bottom of this banner. I know Unos has been on and off that as well, and it's and like several other individuals and like orgs and companies and all that. They've all kind of shown me support, and then on top of that, just everybody listening and sharing and all that. So I just have a ton of gratitude because I don't do it for the attention or for the number of subscribers or anything like that. I just try to do it for the community.
Gotcha. Well, we need more people like this, man, honestly, because while pro paintball is huge, I mean, divisional paintball is 5 times as big as that, And I think that the only way you can breed, professional players is through the divisional ranks. So I think we need a little bit more insider information from, the divisionals and the pros so we can build the whole picture for the audience,
For sure. All right.
And one more shout out to all the teams, dude. Titans, Balls Out, Demo, Oni, Gunners, all the teams that are always buying. Team 13 from LAX, New Orleans Hurricanes, the Beer Cats, all them homies, everybody that buys all the time from the events and not just at the events online. I know that you guys are from teams. I know that I've met you before, so I just want to give a big shout out to everybody that's, on this journey with me.
Yeah, shout out to everybody. It's supporting Jasey through his journey and his climb. I mean, it's going well so far. We can't wait to see what else he's got in store for us. So, yeah, keep it up, Jasey.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. So that does it for our show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on this Thursday afternoon. Be sure to go follow Jasey at Unos Jerky on Instagram. What other guests would you all like to see on the show? Be sure to leave a comment down below. While you're at it, hit that subscribe button. The show goes live weekly here on youtube.com/@inthepitspaintballpodcast, except for next week because we're doing this one today instead. And recordings are posted to YouTube, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify the next day. Shout out to my partner and sponsor tier subscribers on Patreon: FU Athletics, Get That Shot, Paintball Kumite, Compete, BEMRAP, Skull Monkeys Paintball, Hydra, XCPL Events, YI Paintball, Mariachi Aguilas de Oro, and Pod Runners Union. So we will see you guys in 2 weeks for episode 74, which will be our post NXL World Cup episode. We're still looking to finalize a guest for that one. So stay tuned for the announcements there. Looking at the chat, let's see. Victor Abarca says Texas Demolitions flavors the best. He's challenging Hector to 1v1 for the Jerky title.
Ooh.
I would.
Could we do something like that?
I would love to see that, or maybe both of y'all come to in the pitch joust and we'll get it settled there.
Well, I was going to say we should make another joust and it'll be for like the Unos Jerky thing, like the bragging rights. Yeah,
I want to see. So we'll see how the joust ends up going. I've got some ideas for other 1v1 things. Just stay tuned. If we get good turnout for the joust, then more things to come. I'll just leave it at that for now.
I'll play the joust as long as I have invincibility and everybody else doesn't.
We'll see about that one, Jasey.
Okay.
All right. All right, y'all. So we will see you in 2 weeks. If you are attending the NXL World Cup, come say hi to us. JC is obviously going to be in the Jerky booth. I will be in the Project booth, which is going to be in the Hormesis Oasis. So yeah, we'll see you there. JC, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, and have a good night, man. Be safe.